Of course, I missed the one. I'm so exhausted. Good gracious, I'm exhausted. So we've learned a little bit today, not a whole lot. If you guys were not here, we were out in front of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We're going to go back and circle back to this 40 suspects. I think it's relevant today. I think it's relevant today because what we found out was that many of us, sorry, I ended up hurting my finger right there. You see that? That's from my tripod. My tripod just crushed my freaking pinky because every time I move in this bed, this particular one wants to fall off the bed. So, not really pleased with this one, but it is what it is. So, it tore my finger apart and it's still bleeding. Um, Nancy Guthrie is an 84-year-old mother that disappeared from her home, ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night by a masked gunman. Nobody knows what happened to her. Nobody knows the reason why. And I just don't believe that. I just don't believe nobody knows anything about this case. I don't believe Nancy Guthrie just did something to somebody to piss them off. So either Savannah has stalkers or her mother pissed somebody off royally over a contract, over firing them, over something. Okay. This just doesn't happen over nothing. And that's the bottom line. And everybody's wanting help from the public, but nobody's wanting to just inform. What are we looking at here? Is this an abduction? Is this a kidnapping? Is this a homicide? Like, what in the world are we dealing with here? And then, it's all calm, cool, and collected. And then we see all these people showing up at Nancy's house earlier today. So I was out at Sebastian Rogers' event, which is, honk for missing Sebastian Rogers. We had a lot of people honking. I'm actually surprised because, again, this whole week was just supposed to be me and the girls, and people came by and, hung out and waved signs and got on the mic and, just really represented Sebastian today. So I was really pleased to see people coming out, even though the main event's not until tomorrow. And we've got a good crowd. We had quite a few people coming in the afternoon that swung by and said hi. They're getting rested tonight, and we're going to be out there early. We found out that we were starting to make some concessions because we knew some rain was coming in, and then that worked itself out as well. The rain's coming in tonight, and it's going to be raining until morning. And then by morning around 6 a.m., the rain should subside, and we should have the rest of our event. Around 2 o'clock, around between 12 and 2, we're going to be having cake. And we expect about 30 or 40 people to be out there tomorrow. I think we had like 10 or 12 people today in total, maybe 15. But tomorrow, I expect that to be a double, triple, or even larger than that because some of the people in the community may decide to come out after seeing the event we had today and honking and stuff like that. People here want Sebastian. At the end of the day, 2 years is too long. This thing that Eric Craddock does not want to do press conferences, and I don't think he's going to. I think he's just a piece of shit. And I just have no respect for him. And so I have just committed myself to making sure he never serves this county again as the sheriff. And so I am going to work my ass off for over the next 3 years to make sure that he is gone and will never have an opportunity at sheriff again. And that's all I can do because I have begged, pleaded, and I just don't play anymore. I have gotten to the point where when law enforcement starts acting a fool, it's just time to get the garbage out of law enforcement and the corruption out of law enforcement so the good cops can continue doing their work. I find when you have corruption and you have people like Eric Craddock in office, it causes problems in the office. And since Tennessee obviously has a training issue together in totality, we're already at a disadvantage in the entire state. So getting back to Nancy Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie, again, 84-year-old grandmother. She disappeared from her home. She was ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night. I truly believe, and I've said this almost from the very beginning of the case, that I thought she never left the house alive. Or if she was alive, she was in the process of dying. I still stand behind that. We've learned that I took a position that, that masked gunman was the two pictures of him were the same. We found out that that's not accurate, that they believe that darker picture, the one that's more obscure, that doesn't really show his face very clear, It appears like that is some other time prior to Nancy being ripped out of her bed. Does Savannah have a stalker? Is there somebody in the Guthrie family that was cut out of a will? Was there somebody in the Guthrie family that was shunned from the family? These are things and aspects that I'm looking at. Is there somebody in the family that's whacked out on drugs? Cousins, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, anybody. These are the types of people that I'm looking for. But in the grand scheme of things, seeing what I saw, knowing that that DNA match is most likely Hispanic, I believe this person was hired. I believe this person was hired. And so that means that the only way you're going to hire people like this is over the internet. Either the black market, Telegram, or Instagram. That's where all this type of business is conducted. Discord. But somebody would have to know how to get a hold of somebody or how to search. So how did this happen? How did this happen? And who were the people at Nancy Guthrie's house today? Well, I can tell you those were pretty high up the food chain people. Okay, those were not your run-of-the-mill FBI agents there. There were investigators, but in my opinion, those were the type of investigators that are the best of the best type of investigators. You know, when people start showing up to houses in suits and skirts and stuff like that, you're not dealing with normal agents. You're dealing with something a little bit higher up the food chain. So what you were seeing there is most likely the head honchos going in the house, directing. I saw that truck that went into the garage where the garage closed. I've seen those trucks before. The ones with the things that come up on the sides of them. That's a forensic truck. They don't have CSI on them. They don't need to. They don't want it to be that obvious. But that truck that followed the SUV in, that's a forensic truck. The truck that parked inside the garage, that's a forensic truck. And I have much confidence they probably parked in the same exact spot that maybe Nancy might have parked so they wouldn't disturb anything in the garage. I've never seen them pull into the garage like that before. I feel like that could cross-contaminate something if anything happened in the garage. But that was a decision that they chose to make. And at this point, it might have something to do with the fact that maybe the crime scene's already cross-contaminated, you know, because of the botched stuff that they did at the beginning. Hey guys, it's nice to see you. We have 194 people in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up button. So I can tell you right now, I'm exhausted. I came home from today and I just kind of laid down here with the dog and I just closed my eyes. I don't know if it's the cold, if it's the fact, I'm sure it has a combination of stuff. You know, I got hit pretty hard yesterday. One of my friends passed away. She wasn't just a friend. She was a county commissioner in my county. And it's been pretty devastating, to say the least, dealing with Carol Ann's death. And so I'm going to be heading straight back there. As soon as I can get up on Friday morning, I'll be heading back to Florida. Now, we're going to be making or attempting to make a trip out to Arizona. But I'm hearing that they're starting to move media away from Nancy's house or blocking off that entire road. I don't know why now. You know, that seems pretty stupid. But, you know, this whole investigation has not made sense from the very beginning. I have no earthly idea what kind of law enforcement this is, but it's nothing I've ever seen before. I can tell you that. I'm hoping they start getting it together, though. I really do. I hope they start getting it together. So let me say hi to a few of you. Hello, Angela. It's nice to see you. Oh, JH. Hola. Or hola. Why do I keep saying aloha? Good gracious. Forgive me. I do that every time, too. Cinderella, it's nice to see you. Ellie, good evening. Candace, Libby, Oko, it's nice to see you. The real me too. Hello, hello, hello. Miss January, it's nice to see you. Lisa, the real me too. Hello. Tarissa, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Bombastic. Crazy Country Gal, hello. Oh, Pebbles, thank you. Christy, Michelle, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Mama Bear, it's nice to see you. Stash, hello, my love. I hope you're doing well. So if you guys are just coming in, I know we're kind of we're coming a little late. A lot has happened in the Nancy Guthrie case, and I was going to keep you guys updated while we were doing stuff out there for Sebastian, but I learned about the police coming up there, but I couldn't get any information because it was hard. I'm running, this channel. It makes it very hard. I know people were trying to call me to tell me I still had my camera on mute. I forgot I muted the camera, and I just kept it muted. And people started calling and saying, we can't hear anything. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I had it muted. But it's been a good trip. It's been a good event. I'm glad we got to come out here. I'm glad we got to honor Sebastian. I saw Katie's monstrosity of an interview. What a freaking... I can't stand that woman. I really just can't stand that woman. That woman is such a filthy liar. And where's Chris? Where's Chris? Have they officially broke up? Is he now with another woman? Because the last few times we've seen Katie, she was nowhere with Chris, but he was running his gator box. Maybe he's sleeping over at Cluminati's now. I heard him in Cluminati, and then we're all best buds, passing that stem around. I mean, maybe that's allegedly, in my opinion. Maybe that's thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate it. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know what this stuff means with Nancy Guthrie. I really don't. What are they doing? Are they reprocessing the scene? Are they trying to find, maybe a better source of DNA because the DNA is all wonky? That looked like FBI agents, and it looks like they're not being played. They're not being played fairly with by this sheriff, and they might just be saying, "I'm done with the sheriff. Let's go in here and see if we can find our own DNA and send it off to Quantico and see if we can get a profile." Since they keep monkey effing this all up, I keep wondering if it's something like that might be going on behind, the scenes, because I didn't see, I mean, I was looking, I didn't watch a whole lot, I just took a few minutes before I came live to see what was going on. But I didn't see sheriffs there. I saw FBI agents there. And so it makes me wonder if maybe this whole thing of, oh, thank you, Mama Bear. It makes me wonder if, like, this whole thing with the pissing contest between the FBI and Chris Nanos, if maybe that is still ongoing, and maybe they went in there because they're not getting cooperation from him. I mean, we would like to think that that they're not allowing this whatever was going on between the FBI and Chris Nanos to affect this case, but it's got to be. There's hostile tendencies there. I mean, I'm hoping that, because law enforcement, the men and the beat cops and the investigators and stuff under top brass, are typically stellar people. Okay. So whenever I talk about my disdain for law enforcement or this, that, and the other, I am not talking about those beautiful people that are working around the clock. I am talking about top brass making. My allergies are so bad here. I've taken allergy pills. It doesn't help. Anyways, it's top brass, and it's the ones making the decisions on this case. Like, I'm hearing that Chris Nanos has him and two other people that he trusts that have probably a little more seniority than the 4 years average detective and law enforcement body that they have out there, which is ridiculous. Now you know why you need to fund your police. This is exactly why we do not defund law enforcement. It's cases like this. And for the people out there that think that it's the smart thing to do to defund law enforcement, think about this 84-year-old lady. Think about all of the children we cover on this channel. You stop their investigations. You hindered their investigations with those policies. And I'm talking to the politicians. I'm talking to anybody that supported them. I'm sorry, but you guys were wrong. And at some point, the people that made these decisions are going to have to acknowledge that they were wrong when making these decisions and start changing them back. We need to have law enforcement. Nancy Guthrie is gone. She's gone. Sebastian Rogers is gone. Summer Wells is gone. These people are gone. We can't find them. We don't have the authority to go out and find them. We can go search, but we can't touch a damn thing. Even when we do find her, who do we have to call? Who do we have to call? Brian Enton posted there was one sheriff, detective, and FBI at the house. Okay, well, there may have been. I think that the sheriff, was there a sheriff detective? Is that what you're saying? There was a sheriff detective. I hope so. Maybe they let him in the house. I don't know. But those look like FBI agents. I mean, I know FBI agents, and those people, the ones that went into that house, those look like FBI agents. But that truck that had those doors on the side of the canopy, the cab, you know, that roof looking thing, that's a forensic truck. And they drove that truck, from my understanding, into the garage and shut the garage. So that tells me they're trying to find more DNA. They're going through that house to try to find out if there's any more DNA in that house that they can test. That's what I truly believe is going on. Do you think Savannah was there too? No. Mm-mm. I don't think Savannah is equipped to go in that house. I would not recommend her going over there at all. If Cameron is still, I mean, he's a dude. I know it probably hurts him, but guys deal with this kind of stuff a little bit better than us women. Okay? I saw Savannah's face. That is a face of pure agony. It's just so unfair. You know, it is truly unfair. Nobody should ever have to go through this. Nobody. Not our victims, not our families that we cover, not Savannah's family, not this grandmother. Nobody deserves to go through this. Nobody deserves to live their or lose their life over something like this. Like, what could this family have done? Like, you want to, stalk somebody or troll somebody or what makes you act and try to hurt somebody or attack somebody you don't even know? What would ever make you do that? Why would anybody want to harm somebody out of existence? And what did this do? What did this do? This makes no sense to me, and nobody can ever seem to make it make sense to any of us. Yet we keep getting condemned by the sheriff, by everybody that, oh my gosh, we're talking about the case. Well, how do you expect it to get, to keep in the spotlight if we're not talking about it? Because if we leave it to mainstream media, it'll be dead. They'll suck this thing dry for profit, and then they tap out and walk away. That's mainstream media's way. And if you don't believe me, look at the last 100 years. We're social media. We don't give up as easy as mainstream media does. We just don't. And it's so frustrating because at the end of the day, it's going to be left to us. Media's already clearing out. We've got, places like News Nation that are staying on top of it. And I guarantee that has to do with Brian Enton. If it was up to that news station, they would be much like my mainstream media and probably cool. They'll be out there as long as they can be out there. And as soon as the ratings start changing, they close up shop and move on. We stick with it. We make it work. We make it work and we keep these cases alive for a long time. Look at Sebastian Rogers. If we left it to mainstream media, he would have gotten literally a month. We've kept this story alive for 2 years. And we're going to keep Nancy Guthrie's story alive as well until she's brought home. It's just sad. It's sad. So, thank you for standing up for Sebastian. Makes me so sad. And to be honest with you, I don't like doing what I'm doing out here. I don't like condemning law enforcement. I like knowing law enforcement is doing everything that they can to bring a child home. And just like I like to know people are doing, the problem is they make so many mistakes up front. And no matter how many times you try to teach law enforcement to cover their ass each and every time, think outside the box. Is this meeting the criteria? If not, it's time to pull everybody out of the house, turn it into a crime scene, and cover your ass. And time again, we see these people coming in, and it's always these small towns where everybody knows everybody, and they just keep running amok. They just don't get it. At the end of the day, all across this country and all across this world, you're more likely to be killed by somebody you know, including your wife, your son, your daughter, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, than any stranger danger. Than any stranger danger. And when you have children that have autism, theirs go through the roof with their parents because parents don't know how to handle it. They flip out, they freak out, they snap. Autism is a very difficult um, disability to deal with in many cases. It takes a lot of care, it takes a lot of patience. And these are things that Chris and Katie do not have. They just don't have it. Look at Chris, he's a freaking spaz. He has no business being around any child at all. He's a danger. He's a danger. Plain and simple. He's a danger. So that's kind of my 2 cents. I'm exhausted. We're going to be out there tomorrow. It looks like we'll be out there from 9. I think we're going to probably wrap up. I don't think we're going to stay there until 5. I think we'll probably wrap up about, I don't know, 3:30. By the time we get it all packed up and everything, we'll be ready by about 4:30. We'll be heading to a place. So I'm hoping we can sit down and eat dinner like around 5. That would be preferable because then we can be wrapped up by 6:37. I can get back here, get this stuff packed up. I got a lot of stuff to pack up. I need to start packing it up tonight. But I got to get some stuff packed up, and I want to get on the road by about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning and start heading back to Florida. I didn't want to rush right back. I wanted to go to Kentucky, but I couldn't get my appointments there. And then I was going to go over to Kingsport and hang out with Jen and and then of course, Carol Ann. So I've got to get back to Florida. And that's just, I'm glad it wasn't so dire that I had to, um, pack up and head back last night, but it's not good. It's not good. And I'm sure that's probably why I'm so exhausted, is everything's just kind of wearing a little bit on me, but more importantly, my friend, my friend. Just sucks. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the love and the support this weekend. I know we have a breaking news case in Arizona, and it's pulling a lot of attention away from this event. And I know that no matter what, this event, whatever's supposed to happen, is going to happen the way that it's intended to happen. We're here, I'm very humble and gracious that I can advocate for this boy. I wish we didn't have to, but I'm very humble that we have the opportunity to. There are so many people out there that has covered this case that, when push comes to shove, and there are great people out there that show up every time, no matter what, for this boy. And those people are just very special people in my world. So anyways, guys, I love you. Have a great night. We'll get started. I'll make sure that you guys have the Sebastian deserves a press conference. He does. And I don't think we're going to get it. Eric Craddock is too much of he's an asshole. Okay. He doesn't care. He didn't care. He's one of these guys that is not going to let a little girl tell him what to do because he's racist. He's a womanizer. He's a piece of shit. Much like the culture here in Texas or in Tennessee. Much like the culture here in Tennessee. Okay? I guarantee if this was a little black boy, his parents would already be in jail. I'm sorry. I hate saying that like that. I would really love to believe that in 2026, these issues are gone. But I believe that in my heart, that if this had been any other color skin associated with this case, I truly believe the parents would be behind bars. But it's Chris and Katie. I don't like this community. I don't like the people that run this community. I love the people, the good-hearted people that come out and show up for a boy, a little boy. But I also see all those people driving right by with their nose in the air. And I bet you they go to church every Sunday. I want you to think about that. Drive by with your nose in the air for a little boy, yet you fill those pews every Sunday. Bless you. Bless all of you. Maybe you guys can come together here in this community for this little boy so people can quit having to transplant advocacy for a 15-year-old, 17-year-old boy now in your community. I would really like to see some more activism here. I would like to see some people standing up and reclaiming their rights to their county. I would like to see some people with some backbone taking responsibility of their community and not allowing corruption to keep running. Yeah, you guys are corrupted here. Bad. Very, very, very bad. And if you live in this community and you don't know that, you're part of the problem. And I'm sorry to say that. I don't want to be mean to you. But at some point, you guys got to pull your head out of your butt and realize this could have been your child. This could have been your story. I could be here representing you because you're a sheriff. Yeah. Let that sink in for a little bit. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. And if you can, if you're coming across this, please hype this. Please hype any of the videos that I'm doing while I'm out here. We're on the road. This is how we're able to be on the road. We need help. And that by help, that means thumbs up, sharing, supporting. You know, those types of things really do make a difference here. It's free of charge to subscribe, to comment, and to hit a thumbs up. Yet you help this channel so much. And you help the victims that we represent so very much just by doing those simple things, free of charge. So I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. I'm exhausted. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to go to sleep. And it's not even 6:30. Went to sleep yesterday at 6:30. 6:30. I woke up at 9:30, almost half rested. Oh, thank you, L6. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Who else is that? Oh, Melinda, thank you for the hot coffee. Hot cocoa. Thank you, L6. All right, guys. I love you.